So welcome to today's fitting. We're here welcoming Vanessa over from Antwerp today, looking at driver. And so what is it driver-wise that's the main key today? Obviously hit it as far as possible, but what are you finding with the current one, and what do we want to achieve from the change in setup?
Well, I've started to fade my shots a little bit more, while I used to play a lot of draws in the past, and I lost a lot of distance and consistency as well with my drivers. So I guess my swing has changed a little bit, and I'd like to find a better fit for me.
Got it. And so you used to hit the draw, so that would have got a lot of run out. And is it the lack of run out that you feel you're losing, or just the bit of consistency as well?
Consistency, lack of run out, and lack of carry also for the ball. So I lost a lot of distance. Once in a while I'll hit it pretty far, and then most of the time I'll lose like between 30 to even 40 meters sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely can't have that. Right.
Yeah, no.
Let's get cracking, see what we can do.
Yes.
So Vanessa's current driver is a standard men's spec. So it's a 45.5-inch length, D4.5 swing weight. So it's a lot of club. And you think that's a long club for me at best part of 6 foot. Vanessa's not 6 foot tall. So it's a proportionate length is really long. It'd be like me playing a 47-inch driver. So certainly from a control consistency, that's a really key thing to look at for sure.
Okay, that was straight.
Yeah, what's quite noticeable with that one, where you've got the face squared off, it is quite great for links golf, but it's quite a flat flight.
Yeah.
So the moment we get to winter in Northern Europe, you lose a lot of the run out. So it's fairly low flight, that one, and the only way to get the flight is then to get the fade back onto it. So, okay, we'll get kind of probably 2 or 3 more just to get a good base average.
Yeah, that was high, but it was a fade.
Yeah, and so spin's then gone up quite a lot, and whilst it's a higher flight, that's then 11 meters back from previous hit. So. Okay. Okay. That gives me a nice batch. Actually kind of shows a bit of where some of the variation comes from as well. So if you want to come on over, I'll have a little run through the where the data is on these. So the club speed's really nice and consistent there. Actually you can hear the quality of strikes nice. But what is happening is you're getting a little bit of variation in how the club's being delivered, where you've got to fetch it a little bit. There's tending to get a little bit down on it and then out to in. So as you kind of fetch the club over, it's getting rid of a kind of downward hit and a bit of a trap.
Okay, instead of just...
Hence that fade shot, which then either pulls launch angle down, or if you then get the launch angle onto it, the spin goes up. And then occasionally like that one there, you've got shallowed out a little bit more, squared it off. So it's a better delivery position, but then it comes out flat. So you had better ball speed, but you gained no carry over the higher flights. And then when you get the flight, it doesn't run.
It doesn't run.
And when you get the run, it doesn't carry. So basically, if we can pull together all the best bits. But yeah, I mean, look, you can see where you're having to fetch the club over a bit. And that's just going to mean you're going to be compromised in terms of being able to stay balanced and just turn through and square the club face off. So absolutely getting the length down a bit. If you think where you're stood holding that where if I do, I'd have to be up here to get proportional length. So it's a heck of a lot of club there. So bring that back down length a little bit and get the balance more even through for sure. So you're not having to fetch the head. That should allow you to get the club through in front of you more and naturally square it off rather than have to flip it. So we go on to Callaway Elyte driver just because it allows me to control the weighting really easily and helps create a little bit of flight. But taking shaft weight down from sort of 56, 57 grams, we're at 46, 47. So, but that's more in keeping with iron spec. So start a little bit lighter and see what happens.
Hit a few. I was a bit hooked.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to change the balance in the shaft a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can see your. So I'll get back here so that I can see. You can see where you're not having to drag it over, but I do want to bring the balance point in the shaft up a little bit.
Okay.
Because it still has a tendency, just wants to drop underneath a little bit still. So. Okay.
That was straight. Well,
Okay.
more straight than the other balls. I'll try another.
Just use one of the white ones because that one
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
have the spin sensor in. Yeah. Great.
This
Perfect.
one.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
That was very straight.
So got a little bit on the toe side strike-wise, but that definitely looks a little easier through the hit.
Yeah.
So I'm not just back and forth, I'm going to go and grab kind of 2 or 3
Yeah.
different options. So certainly bringing the weight up towards the grip end's a good thing. So
Okay.
the more the weight's down the bottom end of the club, as you
Yeah.
start, it wants to do that,
Yeah.
and then you've got to really fetch at it. So taking the weight up the shaft it's almost like exaggerated. It's like turning it around. You're not
Yeah.
having to fetch the bottom end. So as you turn, the club comes with
It
you.
helps for the hands to just follow
So
through.
yeah,
And yeah.
so you're not having to work the club head through at the
No,
bottom. So
but-
I'm going to get a couple of the shafts with that kind of principle.
Okay.
A couple of grams lighter than the last shaft. Similar
Yep.
balance point though. So it's been reminded we are in meters today because that's what Vanessa uses on the course in Europe, whereas over here we're obviously yards, but yeah, it's meters on the screen. It's for those eagle-eyed amongst you. Okay.
That was very straight.
So there's a little, it's still, I'm going to get a slightly different head that I can get just a hair less heavy. There's still a little bit out, like that one actually the toe strike geared and squared it off really well, but it's still just looks like you're having to fetch to do it, although I quite like this, the dead weight on this shaft, the raw weight's lighter than the last one.
Okay.
I actually quite like the timing of the way it comes through, but I'm going to see if I can get the head weight down just a little bit further, whether that just helps to get the head out in front of you a bit more rather than having to still fetch it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really used to that. I like it, yeah.
Okay.
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 That was pretty straight.
I'm going to change the weight in that head very slightly.
Yeah.
So it's actually got a fairly heavy weight in the back. I'm going to take a couple of grams off it.
It does feel light.
In a good or a bad way? You can say
Maybe,
not sure.
yeah, I'm not, actually I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it does feel very light compared to what I used to hit before. So, but the first ball was very straight.
Yeah. Let's see. Just taking that little bit of weight out again. So
Any
just
white
doing that
baller?
to try and get the face squared up a little bit more easily. Yes, any of the white balls are good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, this one felt a bit low.
Okay. So start off Vanessa's driver being long, heavy, hard work. We've taken dead weight down and definitely like how easy it looks to swing. But we just need to work on the exact weight and balance of the club. We looked a bit of head style, but the GT1, which is lighter head, spun too much. So we need to go back to a head to keep spin down a little bit more. So going back to the Callaway for the moment to test with, I'm just going to work a little bit more on the shaft side of things. Just get it syncing up as much as possible. I think if we go too light, we end up just losing the feel for the club.
Yeah.
So just going back into one of the Acra, the GX, the 140. This one is a little bit shorter.
Okay.
And so we'll see, just going back into that, how that affects the timing as well. So.
You'll also do the extra. Yes. How many bricks do you need?
It's still.
Does the length feel more comfortable?
The length, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Chop and change, because it will be the club's fault
It's just hanging open a little. Okay, it's just hanging open a little bit.
Okay.
Right. So just each of the changes just affects the pattern through the ball, and some will just sync up a little bit better. What I'm going to do with one of the other shafts, I'm just going to mark it to the shorter length. I want to go back to one we hit earlier, but mark the short length to grip it to, which gives you a kind of, it's going to make it a more consistent point.
Okay.
Okay.
Gonna try another one.
So what I like about that is how by going a little shorter on the shaft, it makes it easier to get the club head out in front, and back to that balance point is definitely helping get the face square up. I think because of what you've had to do with that, your swing pattern's still a little bit downward on it, but if I could then also feel like you're hitting up slightly, that starts to open up a little bit more yardage meterage. So club speed's still good. Going back to this, adjusting shaft length hasn't really affected the club speed. That, it's funny, we've got all this kit, but that sounds a much more solid contact. So we actually went a little bit too light previously, whereas you can use that weight better, but we've got to have the balance point in the shaft more this end than down the bottom.
And is this, what kind of shaft is this? Is this like more a senior shaft, or does
this one's a kind of regular flex, but
okay.
so the flex itself won't make a big difference to where the numbers are, because it's not changing. It doesn't flip the toe over, and it doesn't change whether you can time putting the club on the back of the ball. So primarily once we find that, then some may feel a little stiffer or a little more responsive, and as a player you might like one feel more than the other. In terms of what it does to the numbers, it's normally when you get the weight profile of the club right, you get a squarer hit, you get a better result. I think this one is is fairly good for spin, but has a bit of response to the tip. So in principle, it's a higher launching shaft, but ultimately what you do at impact's going to override anything the shaft does, but it lets you deliver it in balance. That's the bit that then gets club face under control, but then allows you to control where the club goes rather than having to firefight it.
To force it,
So from a feel point of view, just feel like you're aiming a little bit up the right, but hitting it a little bit higher. So almost just hitting sort of high draw feel, really. Just to see if we can start to get that angle of attack shallowing out a little bit, you'll see the launch angle come up a bit. But we should also then see spin come down as well. So I really like where the strike kind of smash the quality of contact is. I like how simple it looks to swing, but by getting the delivery instead of a little down and across, a little bit on the up through, that definitely opens up some more distance for sure.
Okay. Okay, that was a draw.
So just exaggerate that feeling of hitting up on it a little bit more. Just to take it kind of, don't worry about where it goes.
Yeah. I'll try. Okay.
So added a bit of loft with the hands, but you shallowed out the delivery a little bit. So it's kind of, it's one of those, it's sort of high left is kind of the feel. If you can start to let the club go where you're getting a better angle of attack, it's then allowing the club face to come round rather than kind of down and then holding the face off.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one. Yeah, so perfect on angle attack, dead flat, so not downward there. So got a slight toe strike, which helps sort of gear a little bit of spin off, but now we're starting to see the launch up at 14 a bit, spin still in the twos, carries moving up the right way. We've still got more ball speed to come out of that. And then the more comfortable you get with it to actually kind of let the club face go, that'll start to square the face in a little bit more. And there's another 3 or 4 miles an hour ball speed. That's another, 5 to 7 meters. But that's if nothing else changes. If you get that, the spin's going to come down a little bit. It'll run out a little bit more. So there's a bit of a sort of phrase we call kind of 1 + 1 = 3 here. Is that by going lighter in the setup, it's going to let you control the delivery, but it's going to let you free it up as well.
Okay.
Which then allows you to get the attack in a better place. That facilitates then a big jump on, but there's a big old payoff. But it's impossible to do it with that one.
Okay.
Because you're then forced into fetching at it again. Okay. So definitely like where that's getting to on flight. We're getting that kind of up and out ball flight now rather than low and so the earlier hits that went, it was hit well, really good ball speed, but it's come out low, a bit low launch, a bit high spin. If we can get that kind of ball speed on that kind of flight, then you're starting to push it close to the 200 meter mark.
Okay.
Total. So
I'll try another one. Okay. I'll try another one. Just
yeah, so ultimately head weight's really key. If it gets a little heavy, Vanessa, it drops the plane underneath, opens the face up, and then again we're back into throwing it over the top to square it up. So there's the total weight and balance point being lighter than the current setup and more handle end. The VA Nemesis shaft's been great for that. And actually the fact that it's not too light, but the Callaway head's given us the most consistency of ball speed, flight, And then couple that with, angle of attack's good in that last swing there, but if Vanessa can then start to get the swing line back and the face squaring through the line a bit more, then that really opens up a little bit extra as well. So with an eye on future as well with this setup. Okay, that was hit.
That was a bit left.
Yeah, so, I mean, ball speed wise, going back to this, we're straight back up, that was 120, whereas sitting kind of 114, 15 with the PXG.
So it's much better.
That one got a little lower on the face, so just where the spin just kicked up a little bit, but you then got the face squared up better. So, and that one with not the best ball flight you've had is still up there carry-wise close to one of the best we've had.
Okay.
So I think there's a little bit of looking at this and going, right, there's potential for another 10 meters through the air and another 10, 15 total out of this, maybe even slightly more.
Okay.
The general club setup facilitates putting a shallower delivery on and squaring it up more. The head's giving you the best ball speed, and okay, that was a bit low on the face, so it spun, but generally keeps the spin in a nice window. But then that also, as a club, then gives you the facility to work on that delivery and get it back to where you like it to be, rather than just getting that little bit over the top. That then opens up another batch of distance as well. So we're seeing good speed, good consistency of ball speed, a lot simpler to deliver than that club. But that then lets the club will get the consistency there and lose the big time, right? But will then let you work on squaring everything off, which then really starts to send it out there a little bit more. Just do a couple, just exaggerate the feel of high left.
Okay.
From a shot, from a direction point of view.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna try another one.
Yeah. So basically, hook it as much as you can.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's still a bit more ball speed to come out of it, but that.
Yeah, it felt like exaggerated, but it's already very straight compared to the other ones.
And we then started to get that launch and spin in the right place. Still a bit more ball speed to come, but that's then on the upper end of what we've achieved with another 4 or 5 miles an hour ball speed potential.
Okay. Okay.
So bit of a toe strike. That's still swing line-wise, still a little bit of a fade line with the swing. So that each bit we've had each bit that we need, the ball speed, the launch, and the spin. It's just the only way to pull them together is where the face to target is absolutely 0.
Okay.
But path 6 degrees left, so it's 6 degrees open.
Okay.
Which is where then that ball speed loss comes into it.
Okay.
So it's getting that toe coming through a little bit earlier and squaring up a little bit sooner.
Okay, let's try.
So very much a case of the current club has created a bit of a pattern with the swing, which needs to be got out of a little bit, but unfortunately hard to do with this. But that means that with what we're seeing today, we haven't got absolutely everything out of it that's possible, but without going a bit lighter, it's then hard to get the swing back online. So it's a bit of a vicious circle.
A bit of work to do here.
A little bit of work to do, but the great thing is each bit you got each bit each bit of the equation there, the angle of attack we've got there, the paths squared off, and then you've got them squared through the face as well. It's just a little bit of practice and a few reps, and just working on a feel that kind of makes sense on course as well. And that then, once it stops feeling a sort of alien, then I think the consistency of flight and distance then really starts to move up.
It'll be much easier,
But it's a bit of a kind of need to make the change to the club in order to facilitate the swing line change before getting the full confident results out, I'm afraid. But yeah, the good side is there is a positive move there. It's just going to require a little bit of undoing some of the patterns that you got into with this one.